Lately, the biggest thing going on in my life is the books I've been reading, but it's a very broad range of information that I don't really know how to put into words. My method for selecting books, and I'm not really reading them, I'm listening to them on audiobooks, but all the same, I still haven't been able to figure out how to read. Well, I mean, I know how to read, but I like doing audiobooks because I can listen while I draw and edit videos and go on walks. And yeah, my method for selecting what book to read next is basically whatever is in the back of my mind that I'm wondering about. The beauty of our current day and age is that almost any subject you can think of, there's about 400,000 books that have been written about it, and it's probably online, and you can listen that someone has gone to the trouble of narrating that book. It's amazing. All right. So I'm trying to take advantage of this. Basically, for a long period of my life, I was just kind of accepting certain things. And like, for example, like, oh yeah, Julius Caesar, he was a famous Roman person, emperor maybe, or, all these various religions and historical events, famous like civilizations, like the all vast Chinese empires that span through various thousands of years, and the Huns and the Mongols, and then all the stuff going on in Africa for thousands and thousands of years. And what about the Incas and Aztecs? And it's like, I know all this stuff existed. I couldn't figure out how it all fit together, right? And it doesn't really matter. Like, I can go on living my life fine, not knowing this stuff, but it is kind of fun to figure it out. So basically my main process is to, usually a lot of the time, my curiosity isn't really sated until I read 2 or usually 3 books on a subject. For example, with Buddhism, I was reading about this, and I read 3 books on it. And the cool thing is there's such a wide variety of books. The key is from different perspectives, right? For example, first I read a book, actually it might have been a series of lectures. The first one it's kind of like a scholarly perspective, kind of just laying out kind of the history of it, the different, I don't know how, not theologies, because that implies God, but the different things they believe, how it progressed, how the different sects divided and stuff like that, just how it progressed historically. And then I read a book from the perspective of someone practicing it in the East, right? Explaining what they believe, why they believe, how it affects their life. So that was a lot more intimate. That was interesting. And then I also read a book from a Western perspective of someone. And since it was a Western perspective, I could relate to it a little bit more personally because I live a Western life, I guess, for better or for worse. And then this person had converted to Buddhism, and they explained their experience with it. So it's like, I'm not even trying to convert to Buddhism, but I learned about it this way through 3 different perspectives, right? And so I've done similar things with Islam, Hinduism, even just books about like overviews of all world religions. And then another one of my favorite genres of book is just these, I don't know why it's a beautiful genre of book, is overviews of like human history. And some of these books start from different places. Some of them start from like the first little molecules that started moving around and reproducing, like 3 or 4 billion years ago. There's not a lot to say back then, but as you get closer to now, there's a lot to say about like ancient humans, like Homo erectus or Neanderthals, and how the different species of humans, like, for example, a few million years ago, there might have been up to like 6 different species of humans on Earth at the same time. Right now, there's only 1 species of humans, Homo sapiens. It's pretty interesting. Anyways, so there's like a lot of different books. I probably read like 4 or 5 different books that are these like grand broad, sweeping histories of human progression and civilization from as far back as is conceivable to the current day, which I think is interesting. And I think it's helpful because the first time you read one of these books, almost nothing sticks because it's just too much information. But the next book you read and the next book after that, more and more of it starts to stick and fill in and kind of, I don't know, it's like a puzzle where each book has different pieces or the same chunks of the same pieces. And slowly it all starts to congeal into one big cohesive picture. And it's kind of satisfying because, I don't know, like it starts to feel like these people in the past were actually real people. Like right now I'm reading a book about ancient Rome, which for so much of my life just seemed like boring history. But there's about 1 billion books about ancient Rome because there's so many facets of this culture that people like to go on and about. Like you can learn about the government, you know, they go on and on about the Senate or the emperors, or you can learn about the art or the architecture or how the religion was, or all these different things. But as I just learned about the history of it, it's interesting because like I got to a certain point in the history of ancient Rome, and I heard some other thing, like they started talking about the Sassanid Empire, which is the Persians that popped up after the Parthians. And then I was like, wait a second, I've heard of the Sassanid Empire when I was learning about the Muslims. And then because I think the Sassanids were there when the Muslims popped up over in the Middle East. And then it's just cool how it all starts to fit together. And then the people in these histories, it all starts to feel more real, I guess, is what I like about it. Anyways, I just don't know how to talk about it because is there a real reason to talk about any of this? I don't know. It's all real, it's all relevant, but also it's so far out of anything happening in my life, right? Well, it's all thousands of years ago. But I don't know. I've been wanting to mention it for a long time. Like I just didn't know how to put it into some sort of context that matters, that I'm reading history books and it's a lot of interesting information. And for now, maybe that's all that's worth saying about it. Anyways, it's probably not all that's worth saying about it. I'll say more about it later, but I just had to get out that first chunk. And I'll see you later. All right. Goodbye. Love you. Till next time.